Can you feel what non-physical is like in a new and vivid way? And do you get that it's only an emotional journey away for you? And have we convinced you that you are vibrational in nature? And can you feel a new desire moving within you of aligning with the fullness of who you are? Do you feel a new appreciation for the contrast that maybe at the beginning of this gathering you thought you could do with a little less of? Don't you like the expansion that is being born for you, through you, by you? Aren't you willing to let go of the pettiness of physical life that's sort of been bogging you down and holding you back? Aren't you just eager to start loving which is natural to you and living that love which is natural to you? Don't you find yourself just exhilarated about the idea of being source energy in physical form, moving around this physical time-space reality for the express purpose of taking thought beyond? Don't you just adore being such important catalysts to the expansion of this universe? Don't you feel proud for the part you've played? Don't you just love the others with whom you share your planet? And isn't their variety and diversity just the most wonderful thing? Don't you just love in ways that you cannot even define in words the balance that all of the different beliefs and interests and desires hold? Can't you feel the power of that balance? Don't you just love that out of all of that variety is born this vibrational reality that is the future of that which you call life on planet Earth? Doesn't it feel good to you that you are fulfilling your purpose in the way that you meant, that you came into this body and that you exposed yourself to the contrast and that you have been part of the expansion? And don't you just love knowing that not only have you been an important part of the expansion, but that you can make your claim on the expansion that you've carved out here and now? Don't you love knowing the eternal nature of your being? Don't you just love knowing that you will never, ever, 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 ever come to an end? Don't you love knowing that you didn't come here to get something done, but instead you came for the thrill and the joy of being part of the process? Don't you just want to walk up to all people in all parts of the world, no matter where they stand and what they're doing? And don't you just want to say to them, thanks for your part. I don't really understand your life. I don't even know where you come from. I don't even understand why you want what you want. But thanks for being the different part that plays the different role that adds to the future that we are all about. Don't you want to say to everyone, I'm glad to know that this vortex of creation that we have all carved out has well-being of such huge proportion that none of us, even if all of us collectively, humanly, got out of the vortex at the same time, that we could not set off the balance of well-being that is certain for all of us? Don't you love knowing that life will continue to 20,012 and beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond? And does anything else make any sense to you? Don't you feel the power of this vortex of creation? And can't you feel that it's queued up for more and more and more and more and more? Don't you love knowing the eternal nature of your being? And aren't you eager to just carve out your joyful part in the moment? Aren't you ready to put down your burdens and stop struggling to defend and defend and guard against and take wrong things and make them right? Aren't you ready to embrace the rightness in all things while you pick out the specific things that are particularly of interest or desire to you? Don't you love knowing that you don't have to fix this planet, that you don't have to fix one other thing, that not one person needs to do one thing different? Don't you love knowing that you have perfect government and so does everyone else? Don't you love knowing that you have perfect gender and so does everyone else? Don't you love knowing that the diversity of religion and the diversity of beliefs and desires are perfect as they are? Doesn't it just take a big load off your shoulders to realize that things do not have to change in order for you to be all that you came here to be? Aren't you ready to let go of the resistance that you've been dragging around, that you picked up along this physical trail? Aren't you ready to just hold yourself in steady alignment? Aren't you ready to stake your claim at a little happier moment than yesterday, and then a little happier moment. Aren't you ready to practice the loving, positive expectation that the source within you never stops offering to you? Aren't you ready to make your claim on the non-physical, vibrational perfection that is the love that is truly you? Aren't you ready to let all that other stuff go? And isn't it nice to realize that you don't have to wait around for one other person to figure that out? Not one other person has to figure that out in order for you to find the freedom that is natural to you. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely, and we say to you that we are joyously and eternally, never-endedly, friskly, we're milking it in the vortex.